You think it's over now. You're wrong.
All aboard the night train.
It's over, Prime.
This is the siege.
I'm a man of my word.
Hey. Yeah. Dead or alive, consider this home. No killing the vibe in the night watch zone. Xenomorphs hype when the lights come on. Hit like and subscribe and the show might blow. Go viral, no COVID. It's a spiral emotions. Hand on the Bible. Only go sign on the dopest your vitals. Better tune in, yeah, you know it's vital. From Schwarzenegger to Kane Hodder. Corey G down to Harry Potter. Shit, Sigourney Weaver love the night watch zone. Come with me to the night watch zone.
Well, there are two things a man should never run from, even if they cost him his life.
Welcome to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are tonight, Tuesday night. You know what that means. It's Battle World time. Corey Anders with me, Kill, and Eric, as always. Guys, this is going to be a moment of truth. Kill. We've talked about this for years.
Man, a battle old as time.
Right. This is going to be some really interesting stuff. Real quick, a blanket hello to all you guys that are actually here tonight in lieu of a lot of other news going on there, but we're continuing with Battle Roll. Damn it, it's Tuesday night. That's what we're doing. I made that choice. Wayne's in the chat. With Eric knows what I'm talking about. Wayne's in the chat. What's going on?
What the hell are you talking about anyway?
Just hold on, man. Ginger Ninja's in the chat. What's going on, Ginger Ninja? Hope you're doing well, bro. Melissa's in the chat. We got Dino. Dino is in the house. What's up? Now, these two movies are certified classics. True enough, didn't Scarface just have its 40th anniversary? Yeah, in December, it'll be 40 years.
Wow.
40 years, man. It's crazy. Russell, what's going on, Russell?
Hey, Russell.
Good to see you. All right. Denisha's in the chat. What's up, Denisha? Thank you for joining us here tonight. We appreciate that. And I just want to make sure I catch up with everyone. Original Fuzz, what's going on? Good to see you, man. Hope you're doing well. We're going to have a classic battle tonight. Seriously. Ginger Ninja's throwing out his ideas so far. All right. Love it. It is a tough one. It is a tough one. That's why we love doing these matchups on Battle World. You know, we genuinely have, you know, a love for the films that we have against each other, and that's what makes it very, very cool. So let's do this as we always start out. We got to talk about who is battling officially. So Eric, I'll start with you. Who do we have in corner number one?
Well, we all love like a rags to riches story, or sometimes we get inspired by, you know, an immigrant comes to America, lives the American dream, gets successful, right? That's what we have tonight. But the problem is sometimes when you get that success and you think the world is yours, you know, it can go to your head and it creates strife with family and you get a whole bunch of enemies. That's what we have here tonight. This guy is such an iconic character in the 90s. If you watched MTV, you couldn't see a hip hop artist without the poster in their office. He's also the inspiration for Scott Hall's Razor Ramon character, if you didn't know that. From Miami, Florida, we have Tony Montana and Scarface.
All right. Okay. All right. Coriander, who do we have in corner number two?
Okay, so when you beat a 30-year sentence in prison and decide to retire from the game, you better be careful. The streets are watching, and that includes your old homies, mob guys, and even your lawyer friend who you feel you owe. So you think you're big time? Well, here comes the pain with Carlito from Carlito's Way.
Very nice.
All right. Carlito, mother number one pregante. Okay. Very, very cool. Kill. Let's get to Kill's commentary because now just give us the tea, bro. What do you think about this matchup?
Look, I feel like a proud dad, and I have two kids that I love so much. Dude, and you alluded to it a little earlier. Me and you have had these discussions and debates because we all love these movies. So
Right.
once again, we love both of these movies, and Al Pacino is just the man. He is the only actor that could pull off a fake Cuban accent and a fake Puerto Rican accent, and he don't get canceled. And we love him for it.
That's right.
Because he's just cold, baby. He's
Yes.
cold. So we just, hey, go and do your thing, bad man. Do your thing.
You're so right, bro. All right, man. Hey, I think I got ears. I hear things. I think I hear something, man. Someone's coming to the arena, maybe two people and all their friends like Tony the Pig. Do you hear it, Kill?
I hear it. I hear it. The streets are calling.
All right. So for you guys in the chat, for you guys watching the replay, sit back, relax as we have Al Pacino versus Al Pacino here on Battle World. Rise.
If I ever see you here again, you die. Just like that. Fuck Gaspar Gomez and fuck the fucking Diaz brothers. Fuck them all. I buried those cockroaches.
Let the slaughter begin!
Don't get high from supply.
Huh? You ready? Okay. Do you want to play rough? Okay. Here come the pain! Say hello to my little friend!
Yeah, boy. Hey, look, man. I've done a lot of intros, man, but this was a real fun one. I was this thing could have gone on for 10 minutes.
You should have let it, right?
I cut down so much it wasn't even funny. Real quick, before we get going, Russell saying love both films. Absolutely, man. We got Codeine in the chat. What's up, man? Saying both are great. Scarface with more style, Carlito more substance. All right. And yes, Ginger Ninja, Carlito did get that video game. Yep, that's right. Dino is starting up with our quotes in the live chat. Who do I trust? Me. That's who. All right. Don't get me going on it though, man.
Yeah, you should have heard Night watching this. Let me tell you, holy shit!
On both movies, I was
you
like
more so on Scarface though.
I was saying the lines, man. And by the way, if you haven't hit the like button, please do. We appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. We appreciate it. Codeine saying dope intro. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. It definitely it takes a lot of time to do them. But this is what we're going to do, guys. You guys know how this go, and if you don't, I'm going to explain it. We're going to go category by category between Scarface and Carlito's Way. Each of us on the panel will give a point to the film that we think wins that category. You guys in the live chat, let us know what you think too. We'll try to get to some of those comments, but if you put in a super chat, number one, we'll make sure we get to your comment, but probably even more important is your super chat will be points towards the movie you choose, and you can actually help to decide who wins this battle. So in other words, if you do a $5 super chat, it'll be 5 points to the movie of your choice. Okay, let's do this thing. Eric, you know where we got to start, man. We're going to start off with the poster. The poster for these two movies. We've got the poster for Carlito's Way, and we've got the poster for Scarface. All right, bro, what do you think, and who's going to get that point?
Ooh, they're both so good. They are really so good. They both use colors really well. I'm going to go with Carlito's Way because I love, as great as Scarface is, I think having all the actors' names takes away from it. There's too much. This one, I love the shadow. You know, it gives, you know, an aura of mystery of like, who the hell is Carlito? You know what I mean? And then just boom right there on the top in red, so you can notice it. Pacino. That's all you really need to say. If you're a Pacino fan, he's got a new movie. Who is Carlito? What's the big deal? It would get me into the theater. Trust me.
Okay. All right. Kill. How about you?
So apparently we're starting Easy Street early for me.
Yeah.
Being that I own this poster, I'm gonna have to go with Carlito's Way. I agree with everything Eric just said. As far as the Scarface poster, you have too much writing. You not only have all the names of the actors, producers, you got a goddamn index of paragraphs on the other side. Hey, he was in Cuba and he came over because Fidel let the people through and I like unicorns. And it's like, come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Wow.
Is
I'm
that
sorry.
is that like the whatever you want to call it, the tagline? That
No,
huge thing.
I haven't
right
gotten to that yet.
I hope it's not.
It's not.
there? Right?
Yeah, I
Holy
want to.
shit.
I want to see what you say for the next one. I want to see what you say for the next one. Go ahead, though.
But just real quick, I just like Eric said, I love the red lettering, Pacino, Sean Penn, Carlito's Way, and that silhouette. That says it all. I love, you know, how the outer borders are black. You got the lone spotlight on him, and he's ready. He's ready for the gangster shit. So I just love that poster. Always have, always will.
Okay, Coriander, how about you?
Yeah, I'm with agreement with these two gentlemen. Scarface, I mean, yeah, it's just black and white and a whole bunch of writing. You think it would be like a book. It doesn't look like a movie poster. It looks like, you know, a book cover or something. Just
Okay.
saying.
All right.
Not that it's a bad thing.
Hold on one second.
Reading's
Hold
good.
on.
No.
Oh, he wasn't happy with that.
Oh, he's like,
Okay.
how dare you?
All right. So I'm gonna give my answer, and my answer is that okay. That's my answer. I'm going with Scarface, and let me tell you why. Though, you know, both are good posters. I was just kind of messing around a little bit, but I do have the Scarface poster. But what I love about the Scarface poster, the thing, and both of them are great, and I do agree with, especially what you said, Kill, about the Carlito poster, because we talked about this specifically a lot too. I do love the silhouette. But what I've always loved about the Scarface poster, I've got two of them, a smaller one and a bigger poster. But what I love about the Scarface poster is how you've got that black and white, you know, and he's got the black and white. I've never seen a poster like that. There are movies that have tried to kind of copy it a little bit. I've seen posters like Carlito's Way, as far as there's a silhouette, you know, kind of this, you know, the darkening of the character so you don't really see their face or whatever. I've never seen anything like Scarface's poster. You know what I'm saying? But even if I did, I just dig that poster so much. And he's also ready for the gangster shit. Look at the look on his face. He's just like,
That's because he's all coked up, man. He's all coked up.
we're not talking about all of that. I'm talking about the poster, man. Don't you start. Okay. All right. So there we go. And Gina just jumped into the chat. What's going on? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Dino saying, I agree with Kill and Eric. Sometimes less is more. That's true. Okay. So let's see what we have to say about the tagline. Okay. So for the tagline, Eric, with Scarface, the tagline is, he loved the American dream with a vengeance. Okay. He loved the American dream with a vengeance. The tagline for Carlito's Way, in his world, you got to shoot your way out. He wanted out. He'd do anything to get there. There was only one way to get there. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna pull a Killian and I'm gonna go with Scarface because that is too much for Carlito's Way. You know?
I figured you guys.
They're like, both good, but that is way too much for Carlito's Way. That's way too much. And sometimes I don't mind like a nice size tagline, but it's It doesn't seem like, if you read that out loud, like you would catch yourself and stumble over the words a lot. You know what I mean? I'm surprised you did that in one take. So,
Hey, man, it is what it is.
yep.
Okay, I've been waiting for this. Kill, what do you think?
I'm gonna be an a-hole. Can you read them both off again for me?
Okay. All right. So for Carlito's Way, in his world, you got to shoot your way out. He wanted out. He'd do anything to get there. There was only one way to get there. And then, of course, with Scarface, it is he loved the American dream with a vengeance.
Hey, there's no lying here. I hate the wordy ones. I'm going with Scarface. It's to the point. It's indicative of the character, and it kind of lets me know what I'm in store for. So, yeah,
all right,
Scarface.
Okay, all right, good for you, man. Coriander, how about you?
Yeah, can you read Carlito's Way one more time for me?
Come on, just give the point.
No, seriously. I need to hear it like one more time.
Whatever, man.
Read it real slow.
Seriously.
In his world, you got to shoot your way out. He wanted out. He'd do anything to get there. There was only one way to get there.
Thank you. Yeah, Scarface.
Yeah, that's what I
knew
thought.
it.
That's what I thought. You guys, I tell you, I don't want to read. All right, so look, I'm going with Scarface too, because it's not even about the amount of words. I don't have an issue with if it's a sentence or two or whatever. But what I do like about the tagline for Scarface is that it's already got a lot of intensity with it. So when you look at the poster, and first of all, that's the other thing too. Like less is more in a lot of circumstances, but with this, the poster works with the tagline. They both work alone, but together they amplify, in my opinion, because the look on Al Pacino's face, he's a hardened, intense character, right? You could tell that by his look. The black and white says that as well. And then that tagline, it's just like, okay, it's on. It is on. So yeah, that's why I'm going to go with Scarface. Not necessarily because it's less words. Okay. So, all right, real quick. Russell saying, anybody seen Scarface, the OG Scarface? Yes. So Scarface is a remake. And that's a pretty cool thing too, because sometimes people have issues with remakes, but there have been some fantastic remakes in all the genres, and this is a great example of it. We got Emperor Guyver in the chat saying Scarface, Tony Montana was the only gangster to die because he had morals. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Very, very cool. Okay, let's go to our next category. Eric, we're going to talk about the opening. Okay, now I'm going to explain this because I think with both openings, you kind of have like a cold intro, and then you have your actual opening. Okay, so like with Scarface, obviously starting off and showing the whole idea with Castro and all that type of stuff, we're going to skip that. And of course with Carlito, we're going to skip obviously the stinger at the end, showing the stinger at the end. So which opening do you like better?
Man, that's tough. Flipping a coin, I'm gonna say Scarface. I like the opening scene to Carlito. I like how he's a free man, and then you have the scene at the at the pool table and stuff like that. But I just really enjoy Tony not giving a shit about being interrogated.
Yes.
And then doing what he needs to do to get the green card. You know what I mean? Him and Manny and the other guys. So I think that was just a little bit more. I think what sealed it for me was that scene, the interrogation scene. You know what I mean? Because he was just cool, didn't care, and he showed no fear, and that helped us realize what this character is going to be like for the rest of the movie.
Right.
All right. Scarface.
Okay. How about you, Kill?
I'm so glad you kind of broke down, kind of where we should be looking for the opening, because I was looking and I was like, all right, each of these I'm going out at least 20 minutes.
Right.
Yeah. And with that being said, I'm going Carlito's Way. and the reasoning for that is yes, other than the stinger sort of stuff that's going on, you have a funny scene with him and Sean Penn in front of the judge where he's like thanking everyone like he just won an Oscar.
Right.
Then you have him going back to his hood, seeing like old friends, old guy he used to work for, and then that pool hall scene. And the thing about
well, hold on. Can I just say something? And Eric, you can change it too. I mean, I don't think we should go that far into the opening because the pool hall scene, that's like 20 minutes into the thing. What I'm thinking about for opening. What I'm thinking about for opening is the court scene and then the bar scene for Carlito. And for Scarface, I'm thinking about, the interrogation and then the Rebenga hit.
I still wouldn't change my opinion. No, I still got to go Scarface.
Okay.
Well, I'm still gonna go Carlito.
Okay. All right. Well, I just wanted to.
Well,
I just
only
wanted to
reason
throw
why I
that
said
there.
this because, like, normally when we do the openings, we say like, oh, it could be like 15 minutes or so out, and I was like checking the timer. So okay, but still Carlito's Way, because you get to kind of see the relationship he has with Sean Penn. You kind of get to see like some comedy there with him in front of the judge, so you get an idea of his character. And then, you do see him start to interact with people from, his neighborhood and so forth. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Carlito.
Okay. All right. How about you, Coriander?
I was going to go Carlito's Way also because, I mean, it was kind of, and yeah, I get we're not going to the pool in that bar scene, but I mean, when he was with his nephew, right? Wasn't that who he was with? That young kid was his nephew, correct?
Yeah, that was his nephew. What I'm thinking of the opening
Right,
of
but
Carlito's
he
Way
was.
is, well, let me just finish.
I already heard you.
Is the court scene, and then when him and Sean Penn are in the bar,
In the bar.
and they're talking, you got a dream, baby, you got a dream. He tells him what he wants to do, and that's it. Not when he goes back to the hood, and then of course the action scene. I think that's too far to be considered an opening. And for Scarface, I think it's only the interrogation scene and then the Rebenga hit, which is that's about the same amount of time.
If you're skipping that first scene in Carlito's Way, technically it's not 20 minutes into the opening that we're watching here.
That's kind of what I was thinking too.
But what I'm saying is that takes it. That's more than an opening. You know what I mean? Because if that's the case, then you'd go further into Scarface.
You're not listening to what we're saying, though. You're taking out the first 10 minutes, right, of Carlito's Way, maybe a little more.
Well, same thing with Scarface when it has the big opening where it's talking about.
If we're talking about 10 minutes, if we're talking about 20 minutes into it, that's only 10 minutes that we're talking about for an intro.
No, it's more than 10 minutes.
But not much.
I'm making the rules, man. I know because I timed it when I wrote up the categories. Okay, so for Carlito's Way, let me explain it again.
Killian, I'm still going Carlito's Way.
Okay. Jeez. All right. So for me,
you want to read the taglines again, just in case?
I'm telling you.
Please.
So listen, for me, let me explain. I think Scarface is a better opening specifically because of the interrogation scene and just knowing exactly who he is, who he thinks he is, and also knowing the lengths of which he'll try to get over on people. That scene alone, not even counting the Rebenga scene, like when they're in the holding, and Manny says, "Hey, we got this chance to get out of here. We got to basically kill this guy Rebenga." That's a great scene, but I think the interrogation scene alone really gives you stakes with him, versus the Carlito with basically. And again, that court scene is great. It's played for humor, of course, and I love it. It's a really good scene. But then you've got the scene with him in the bar, and he's explaining, that he's done with crime and this and that, which is fine. But I just think that the opening to Scarface is better and stronger, just character wise. So that's why I'm going to go with Scarface on that one. Okay, real quick too, we got Jamie jumping into the chat. What's going on? And Jamie has a channel member anniversary. What's going on, Jamie? Thank
Good for
you
you.
so
Very
much
nice.
for being a part of the channel membership. 9 months. That's awesome. Almost at a year. That's really crazy.
Very cool.
She says Night Riders
That's
on the Storm. That is really, really cool. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And we got Sir James in the chat coming in with a $5 super chat. What's going on, man? Haven't seen you in a while. Hope you're doing well.
Yeah.
Saying Scarface, the opening music and montage. I told you sanitarium, not sanitation. There you go.
That was funny.
That was a good one. That was a good one. Yeah, he had some light moments too. Not as much as Carlito, but he had a couple of light moments. But thank you so much, man. We really appreciate the super chat. It really helps out the channel and also the stream. So that will be 5 points that will go to Scarface. Pretty crazy. All right, guys, let's do a super chat for Sir James. Here we go.
What?
Dude,
Eric was shaking his
seriously?
head. Yeah, man, because you're not
Oh
listening.
my
I played it for
That was
you.
for the Teflon
God.
movie, wasn't it?
Yes,
That was
yes.
torture. That's all that was.
Thank you so much, Sir James. We appreciate you, man. Seriously, thank you. We've
sir.
got Foreign Horror and more in the chat. What's going on, man? I hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Good to see you. Let's see. Russell saying, you're right. Scott Hall did a Scarface character. He definitely did.
Razor Ramon.
Razor Ramon.
He pitched that to Vince McMahon. Vince had never even seen Scarface at the time.
That's right.
And it worked.
That's right. It did. Wrestling God's in the chat. Welcome, Wrestling God. Hope you're doing well. And yes, I did hear about that, and I will have something coming out about it soon. And we've got Emperor Guyver saying Scarface has an opening that not only sets up the characters, but the film as a whole. Yeah. I think so. Philip's in the chat. What's up, Philip? Good to see you as well. Let's see. And I think I'm caught up to you guys in the chat. Okay, let's go to our next category, the original music. Okay, so let me explain this. We are not talking about popular songs. Okay, we're talking about the composed music for both of these films, which both films have quite a bit of it. So, Eric, which one are you going to choose for the original soundtrack music?
Yeah, that to me that's fine that you're saying original, because I think that the pop music kind of canceled each other out.
Right.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna pick Scarface, and it's because I honestly don't remember that much music from Carlito's Way that isn't the actual like pop music, the songs from the 70s. I don't. But there's two pieces of original music that I loved in Scarface. I love that kind of like, I don't know if you would say angelic or whatever, but that when he first sees Elvira, coming down.
Yes.
And he sees it. And
yes, I know
like,
exactly what you mean.
It's like angelic, like he laser beams like on her. You know what I mean? It's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And I really love, as much as a piece of trash, Tony is, when he reunites with his mom and his sister, that sweet piece of music in such a, air quotes, awful type of film, it stands out and it just works perfectly for the scene. So just based on those two alone, I'm going Scarface.
All right. Okay. Kill, how about you?
Man, I couldn't agree more. I'm going with Scarface. Just for like, I guess Tony's theme, there's this music that they play a lot for him in particular when he first sees Michelle Pfeiffer, like Eric said. And also just the opening theme when they're showing all of the real footage from Cuba and so forth in Miami. Yeah, it hits and it just is like an earworm in my head. So yeah, Scarface.
All right, how about you, Coriander?
Yep, I agree with these guys. Scarface.
Okay. For me, I also agree. I think and here's the thing though, but Carlito does have some great music as well, composed by Patrick Doyle. And for Scarface, it was Giorgio Moroder. But Carlito has some great music too. But I think that it's spaced a lot more and interspersed with the pop music, which I love. Okay, I really do love that, but it has a lot of pop music, 70s music and so forth. Part of that too was, they spent a lot of time at Carlito's Club, so that makes sense. But with Scarface, although it does have the pop music, but it has the composed music is strong all the way through the movie. Like you said, Kill, right from the very beginning when it first comes on, that always stays, in my mind as well. The moments where they do the close-ups on his face when he has those anger hits, that just the whole movie just has so many moments. So I definitely got to go with Scarface on this one as well. Just some really, really, like you said, that angelic theme. That's just, and it's the thing about it, it's angelic, but there's a certain tragedy to that theme as well. Like, at least when I listen to it, it works in two ways. It does have that innocence, but it also has that vibe of, ooh, something's off. There's going to be something bad that's going to happen, and that's what I get out of it. Real quick, just to jump to the chat, Emperor Guyver, the score to Scarface is just pure chef's kiss. All right. Let's see. Russell saying at least Tony didn't cross the line with killing a mom and kids. That's right. You die, motherfucker. That's right. You gotta, and it's an interesting thing about the character. We're not gonna get a chance to get so deep into these characters, but I'll tell you what, and me and Kill have talked about this so many times, but it is an interesting comparison of these characters and their arcs. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
That was a great scene.
It really was, because it showed there was a line in the sand.
Yes.
That's what it showed. There's a certain line he just won't cross. And
even he had his limits.
Yes, exactly. And of course, Codeine is like, push it to the limit. Right? But you're right, because up until that point, you really thought there's nothing this guy won't do to get what he wants. But that's not true. I mean, you got a little bit of an idea of that with the scene with his mom and with Gina,
right?
Because if he was truly heartless, that scene wouldn't have occurred,
Right.
But he went back to try to make peace with his mom. He wanted to, reconnect with his little sister. So he did have a heart. Yeah. Let's see. Dino saying, yes, that music that plays when he sees Gina again, that scene is a masterpiece.
It's so good. So good.
Yep. Absolutely. No doubt about it. Sir James coming in again, $5 super chat saying, Scarface, I like the pop song when the Diaz brothers try to kill him. Yes, that is a good pop song. It's some great stuff, man. It's some great stuff. It really, really is. The one thing I will say about Brian De Palma, and we're going to get further into this, is that both of these movies from A to Z, including the music choices, composed and popular music, was just, I couldn't imagine either film any other way. So all right. And Sir James, thank you so much for that super chat. So we got 5 points going to Scarface. Thank you so much. We appreciate the support. It really does help us out. All right. So next up, our next category, the story. The story, Eric, you knew we would get here. So what do you think about which story you think is more captivating?
What I love about these two movies is you got the same actor, the same director, but the stories are very, very different. What I love about, I'm going to give it to Carlito's Way. And here's why. Tony's story is great. Everything about that. I'm a sucker for a bad guy who tries to do good. And that's what got me. Carlito, even though he does some bad things in this movie, I never doubted for a second he wanted to get his, was it 75 grand or whatever? I don't remember the
Yep.
And he wanted to take Penelope Ann Miller. They wanted to go to the island, and I believed him 100% when he said that. And he could have done what he needed to do to John Leguizamo, but he didn't, because he didn't want to go down that road again. And that's what I really liked about this story, is he still wanted to do good after he got out. So got to go Carlito's Way.
All right. Okay. Well said. How about you, Kill?
This is really close because I love both stories. And essentially, this could be one long movie if certain things didn't happen at the end of Scarface and he just like went to jail,
Right.
went to
Yeah.
prison. You know?
Right. Yeah.
But I'm gonna go with Carlito. And the reasoning for that is, in my opinion, there's more nuance to it instead of it just being the rags to riches. His story is rags to riches to prison to back on the streets to trying to stay on the straight and narrow, but being pulled back in by people from his past, his lawyer, new up and comers like Benny Blanco from the Bronx, and for him trying to also rekindle the love that he lost. And it's just a fantastic and tragic ride. And it's full of roller coasters. And I love the kind of internal monologue that Carlito does with himself. Like when he sees the love he lost and he's outside in the rain and he's looking at her and he's like, man, look at her like an angel. How did I get so lucky? This is it's just to me, all of those kind of voiceovers really add to the story. So on Carlito.
All right. Okay, Coriander, how about you?
Yeah, I've seen Scarface a million times. I love that movie. But Carlito's Way is like a newcomer to me. I've only seen it like two times or so. And I absolutely love this movie. I mean, Killian said it all, but what really tops it for me is, like I've said it many times before, I'm like a sucker for a love story. And the fact that this has it, and a tragic love story to boot, it's great. It's great story.
All right. Okay. For me, I'm going to also go with Carlito's Way, and you guys made some good points. But here's why I'm going to go with it. I think, but Scarface has a love story too. It's just a little bit of a different level. But I think with Scarface,
I mean, that's not a true love story. It's going to be reciprocated. Come on now.
Well, she did. She loved him.
Did she?
He had a love story. He was in love.
He
with
was in love
America.
with her, but she had like no choice. He pretty much was like, "You're coming with me. You're my bitch now."
Okay. So. Anyways, let me finish what I'm saying. So, anyways, what I'm saying though is that, it was a different. Well, that's what I was saying. It was a different type, a love story. It wasn't like with Carlito's Way. You had a situation where they were together before he went into prison, so all of the regret that he had as far as breaking her heart, made that a very heavy angle in the movie, which was good. It was to the advantage of Al Pacino and Penelope Ann Miller, and they were great. But I think that the reason that I think Carlito is for me the story I'm going to pick, and they're both great. I love them both, obviously, but I'm going to pick Carlito because I think that the roller coaster had a lot of highs and a lot of lows as far as he is trying to walk on the straight side. But there's all of these things that keep coming in the way. And there's sometimes when he dodges them the right way. And then there's times when he doesn't. You know what I'm saying? Like even when he went in, with his nephew in the bar scene, the pool, shooting the pool scene, like, yeah, that really sucked.
He was pulled into all those situations though.
Yeah, I know. That's what I said.
So yeah,
that's what I said.
Not his fault, man.
And I think that, like, in that scene, like, yeah, he got pulled into it and it really, really sucked. But at the same time, he took the money and, you know what I'm saying? So there were those moments where even though he was trying to do the right thing, he was still street. You know what I mean? Like he said, the streets is always watching. And it was just cool to see Al Pacino portray this character that did have a lot of duality to him, and Scarface did as well, because like we said, he wasn't totally heartless. But I think with Carlito throughout the whole movie, there was more of it, and it was heavier. You know what I mean? It really weighed on the film in a good way. So that's why I'm going to go with Carlito for story. Okay, real quick. Gina saying, I love both these films, but that bathroom scene when I was watching Age 8 scared the shit out of me.
I bet.
There you go. Yeah. Dino saying, I mean, the scene when Tony told Elvira he loved her by the pool was a pretty romantic scene. One of the few times he talked to her nice. Yeah. We've got Jamie saying it's been way too long since I saw these two films. Jamie, you got to watch them. That's why
Mhm.
that's why we love doing these streams, because I know there's a lot of folks, that may not have seen these films in a long time, but I think it's really, really cool stuff. Sir James coming in with another super chat, $5 super chat, man. Thank you so much. Saying the mother scene, okay, is the best. She tells you what's going to happen. I misspelled my super chat. Yeah, I understood. I understood what you mean. Yeah, the mother scene is
Mhm.
really good. And the actress playing the mother was only a couple of years older than Al Pacino, if I remember correctly. She might have been the same age, or either just like 2 years older or something like that. But she was fantastic, and that told you so much about Tony, right? Like
Mhm.
that was a really, really integral scene. But yeah, Sir James, thank you so much, man. We really appreciate the super chat. Let's do this one for you. Thank you so much.
Ooh, guns, 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 guns.
Never forget. Never ever forget. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for the super chat, man. We really appreciate it.
Yes,
Let,
sir.
let's see. Gina, you're too funny. Okay, next up, Eric. Let's talk about the supporting characters. The supporting characters. So obviously, we're talking about all the characters except for Carlito and for Tony. What do you think? Who's getting the point?
I'm gonna go Scarface. I think it's because, just in my opinion, because it's been probably decades since I've seen Scarface, and this was my first time seeing Carlito. So you guys have seen him more than me. I think we see and deal with the characters in Scarface more, so I'm able to get attached to them more. Like I love Manny. Manny's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
You know, uh, F. Murray Abraham. I really like his character and how he butts heads with Tony. I love Gina. She's so good in this. You know what I mean? And she
Mm-hmm.
just wants to get out from under Tony's overprotective thumb. I love
Mm-hmm.
his mom. That scene with his mom is great. So many more good and memorable characters in Scarface to me. Notwithstanding, there are some really good ones in Carlito's Way. Just I gravitate more towards Scarface.
Okay. All right. Kill. How about you?
This is close, but for me, I'm gonna have to go Carlito's Way. And the reasoning for that is when you have a frenemy
Mm-hmm.
like Sean Penn, who is charismatic in
Ooh.
it, and he alone carries a lot of weight for me in my choice in this one, because he
He
is
is
Mm-hmm.
good.
a screw up, but he's also like, like family. Let Carlito tell him, he helped get him out. Then of course you have, Luis Guzman, you have Benny Blanco from the Bronx, you have Penelope Ann Miller.
Mm-hmm.
Man, no disrespect to the supporting characters in Scarface, and I agree with Eric. It's a lot of them. They're memorable. I love Manny, but yeah, I got to go Carlito's Way.
All right. Okay. Coriander, how about you?
Geez, this is tough, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go Scarface, just because. I mean, yeah, I saw this movie when I was a kid. My dad would watch this, and yeah, I mean Manny. It was kind of
Mhm.
funny. Who didn't have a little crush on him? I know I did. So I mean, it just brings back fun little memories. So Scarface,
All right.
man.
All right. For me, I think the supporting characters in both of these films are really, really good, and you need to have that, because both of these, and again, we know they're different stories, but in both sides, you have to have a great supporting cast to help put across what this lead character is, whether it's Tony or Carlito. But that being said, I gotta lean towards Carlito's Way on this one. And one of the biggest reasons why is, I think that with Sean Penn, when you first watch it, and granted, I've seen both these films more times than I could count. But when you first watch it, you get sucked into, what he's all about.
Mhm.
And that's a credit to Sean Penn, of course, and how the story plays. Sean Penn to me is like a microcosm of what this world is about, as far as so deceitful, right? Smile to your face, stab you in the back. And I just think he's fantastic. John Leguizamo, his moments as Benny Blanco, they're just great. Luis Guzman, of course, Pachanga, I go to any of these motherfuckers any day, all this stuff, it's just so many good moments from these characters, all the mob guys, it's just something that really just barely, and this is close for me. This might be one of the toughest categories. When I was writing the categories up, I was like, this is going to be tough. But when I really think about it, Sean Penn especially, Penelope Ann Miller was great as well. But Sean Penn really pushes it over for me. So I got to go with Carlito's Way on this.
I had to do a double take when I first realized that was Sean Penn.
Yes.
I mean, looking like Larry from the Three Stooges of all people.
Yes. And Sean Penn, that was his little input to the character.
Oh, really?
He really wanted to hide within this character and really just give him a lot of quote unquote character, what I'm saying? Even physically. Even the way he walked. If you watch the way he walked, he was just something else, man. Shout out to Sean Penn, man, the MVP.
Oh shit! I thought you were talking about Manny. No, I'm just joking. I know.
Dino saying, I love Tony's mom because no matter what facade Tony put up, the one person he couldn't fool was Mama. That is so
Mama
true,
knows best.
man. And again, when you first watch the movie, okay, we've seen it so many times, but when you first watch it, there was that part of me that was thinking, okay, he doesn't want to be poor anymore, so he made a move to get out of detention, and now maybe he will try to walk the straight line, coming back to make amends with his mother and his sister. But again, his mom wasn't fooled. You know what I mean? So good point, Dino. Good point. Sir James coming back in, another $5 super chat. Thank you so much, man. Saying best supporting is the cocaine. Close by killing. I'll close by that too. That's Coriander's. What? I don't understand that, man.
On the bed with the gun, and I think that's the scene with the chainsaw. When they get double crossed.
Oh yeah,
she's watching TV.
Yes,
that's right.
Yes. I love that part. You got this. You got
the money.
I have it close, but I don't have it with me here. Right here. That was a great scene, man.
It really was.
It was great, man. Sir James, thank you so much. Appreciate it. We got 5 points to Scarface. Okay. Russell coming in with $1 super chat. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. And let us know if you want that to be put towards one of the films, man. Seriously, much appreciated. Thank you so much. Okay, let's go to our next category. De Palma versus De Palma. Okay, now when you talk about director, so first of all, let me just say, for me, this is a challenging category, but we're basically asking what you thought of his directing of Scarface versus Carlito's Way. What do you got, Eric?
Oh, it's tough because, especially if we're just doing these two movies, because he's a fantastic director.
Yes.
Both have. I'm gonna go with Scarface. They both have great action scenes. I think I'm going to give it to Scarface because he has to do a lot more with like car chases, gunfights, especially that final sequence, when Tony's being, taken on by that mob. But then he's still got his little tricks. You know what I mean? We've seen the split screen 100 times, but one of my favorite shots, and I rewound it a couple times. It's the scene in the hotel room. The camera goes through the wall and outside to Manny with the prostitute, that's to distract him. And then we go back through the wall and into the bathroom.
Yeah.
And I mean,
good point.
It's pretty, that the cut is pretty crisp. You know what I mean? Got to go Scarface.
That's a great point, man. That was good, bro.
That's a good,
yeah.
Dude knows what he's doing behind the camera.
He does. And there's fantastic stuff in Carlito as well, though. Kill, what about you?
This is hard. In one respect, I want to give Scarface kudos because it's the older of the two films, and some of the shots that were done there, and some of the things that inspired so many other genres. Video games, Grand Theft Auto, I'm looking at you, and the way that he shoots Miami. Miami is like a whole nother character in this movie, whether it's the discos, whether it's the way people are dressed, Miami Vice owes a lot to this movie as well. I love the use of light and shadow and the cinematography that is used in Carlito's Way. But I got to go with Scarface here. And just on a side note, as a kid watching Scarface, the chainsaw scene in the bathroom, that was Hostile. That was Saw before there was Saw. And to shoot it the way that it was shot, where you don't actually see bone and flesh being cut, you just see the blood spurts, you hear the scream. The camera zooms in a lot, so you see just blood coming down a face. You know what's up, and it's masterful. So got to go Scarface.
Okay. All right. Coriander, how about you?
Yeah, Tony was lucky he had that shower curtain there, because that was protecting him from all that blood from getting in his face. So yeah. And I mean, Scarface had a lot of great scenes, but I think one of my favorite scenes in Carlito's Way, which is the way I'm going, is the pool scene, right? When Carlito knows something isn't right, and he starts setting shit up with the guys at the pool table, and he uses the goons' sunglasses as like a mirror to see when he needs to go take action. And unfortunately, it was just a little too late. But yeah, I mean, he's great, De Palma. And yeah, that's like one of the scenes that's one of my favorite scenes. So I have to go that way.
Okay. For me, this is really difficult, man, because, and actually all of you guys mentioned some really good points and great moments in these two films. One thing I really enjoyed as well, like that scene in Scarface you're talking about, Eric, that's really, really good. One thing I really enjoyed in Carlito, there was a couple of moments where like when he was when he went into the into Gail's apartment, and the camera is just doing this rotation around Al Pacino and Penelope Ann Miller, and it's so good at that moment, because it's kind of like, they're finally kind of together, their love has been rekindled, and there's a romance to it, and so forth. Also, that scene when Sean Penn is going to the prison, and they show him walking down this path, and the camera pulls back from him. You're like, where the hell, when you first watch it, you're like, where the hell is he going? It pulls back. Then all of a sudden you see the big ship and the water, and it's like, how did they do that? It looks so crisp and so good, and it's in other words, it's setting you up to know this is a really important scene in this movie, and it was Sean Penn's scene, not Al Pacino's scene, and that had ripples throughout the whole. You could argue that scene was literally the downfall, for Carlito. That being said, and this is tough, man, and I really didn't have an answer for this either way. I'm just gonna flip the coin. I'm gonna go with Carlito on this one, and the reason I'm gonna do it is because there's emotion in both of these movies, but I feel like in Carlito, the camera shots, the way things were filmed, the choices that Brian De Palma made, they evoked a little bit more emotion from me. The scene when he's at the end, he's trying to, get that money from the club so he can get to the train station and get the hell out of Dodge with Gail. And he's sitting there with the mob guys, and the camera is low, pointing up to them as they're seated, and it's panning around all the mob guys, and then it pans right to Carlito, and the look on Al Pacino's face is like, oh my God, these guys are here. They know that I was a part of this thing with Tony T. And it was just fantastic stuff all throughout the movie, both movies. It truly could go either way. This is one of the toughest categories of any of these episodes for me, seriously. But I'm gonna go with Carlito. All right. Wow, that was kind of painful.
Yeah, it was tough.
Dino saying, do you all think directors back then were arguably better because they demanded perfection, like getting that perfect shot? There could be some truth to that. I mean, I think it's case by case, though. I think.
Yeah, it all depends. Like, I don't think it's like you're gonna compare De Palma to Kubrick, who is notorious for taking 100 shots at a time. I think De Palma just knew what he wanted, and I think I don't want to say he's more creative than Kubrick. You know what I mean? But I've seen more interesting stuff from him than Kubrick. So it's just like what we've said before, apples and oranges. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, no doubt. And we've got Sir James coming back in, $10 super chat to Scarface, saying, goes to Scarface. De Palma, the cut that Eric's talking about was invented by Desi Arnaz. Okay,
Oh, really?
It's a masterpiece of filmmaking. Chainsaw scene is awesome. It really is awesome, man. The way that it was shot, it's very. It evoked the vibe that Texas Chainsaw Massacre had. Where you see Leatherface using that chainsaw, but you never see, the bones and the meat being cut up and so forth. But your mind really sees it all, and that's because of the way that Toby Hooper shot it. And same idea here with De Palma. He's just a masterful director. We've been fortunate, like Coriander, we were talking about this the other day. We've been fortunate to talk about several of his movies on this channel. A couple of them on Slasher Movie Club, by the way. Quick little little plug there.
That's right.
But yeah, man, Brian De Palma, he just knows how to get so much out of a story. So,
and he knows what to get out of his actors. That's why he reuses them. Pacino. I mean, Sean Penn and John Leguizamo, they were both in Casualties of War as well. He knows who he likes, and he always gets them back.
Yep. And even between these two movies, you saw people coming back. First time I saw Carlito'S Way, I was like, "There's Chi-Chi. What's up?" It's my man. But yeah, he's just a great director. Seriously.
Yeah.
Sir James, thank you so much for the super chat, man. We really, really appreciate it. We got another clip for you. You know what we're gonna do.
Come on, Sal. Tigers are playing 2 nights. Never miss a game.
Never miss a game. Never miss a game. Thank you so much, man. Much appreciated. Seriously. We got Mayanne has jumped into the chat.
Mayanne.
All right.
Hello.
Good to see you. Glad that you came. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. Russell was saying he was 27 when he had seen Scarface. All right. Very, very cool.
Nice.
Sir James coming in again, $2 super chat, saying De Palma influence is from Hitchcock. Yeah, well, yeah, so many people drew and rightly so. So many people drew influence and inspiration from Alfred Hitchcock, no doubt about it at all. And yes, I've seen Body Double. De Palma, I've seen pretty much all of his movies. He is fantastic.
Not
He
seen Body Double.
really is. Yeah, it's a good one, seriously. And Sir James, by the way, we've talked about a lot of De Palma, especially on Slasher Movie Club. Check out the playlist, man. It's some good stuff. But thank you for the super chat. Seriously, we appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right, guys, let's go to our next category. The stickier situation, Eric. Okay, the stickier situation. So you're in this situation that Carlito is in, and also Tony. Okay, which character, as the story went on, which character had it worse?
Jeez.
That's kind of easy. You think about it, it's kind of easy.
Well, okay. Let me hold on. Let me explain this. Hold on. Let me explain it so we're all on the same page. I'm not talking about the ending. Okay.
Right.
I'm not talking about, the ending of these two films, which is basically the same thing. But I'm talking about the fact, Tony Montana, all that he did to rise to the top, and then being totally, dejected by it, but also so many ties that he was basically brought down by those. Obviously, we're talking a lot about Sosa, but he literally was strangled by his own fortune, so to speak. And of course, with Carlito, he's just trying to get out of there, but the street is strangling him. All these different things from the street, including friends. So, and I think both of these movies, this to me, this isn't an easy choice. So I think both of these movies is really, really tough. But who do you think had the tougher situation?
Oh, see, I think that explanation is great, but I think it makes it tougher now.
Okay.
I'm gonna say shit. I'm gonna say Tony had the stickier situation, only because he is causing a lot of his own downfall. You know what I mean? If you look at it this way, this is how I'm looking at it. Carlito has his enemies, and he knows who he can, for the most part, trust and not trust. Tony's biggest enemy, in my opinion, is himself.
But
And
can
when
I
you
say
think-
one thing too?
Sure.
Just out of just in my own, because me and Kill talked about this a lot. I mean, Carlito also, with his code, I mean, Gail told him right off the bat, don't go on that boat. You don't owe anybody anything. So that code of the streets that he lived by, which is honorable. It is
Right.
honorable. But I guess what I'm just saying is that I think Carlito was one of his biggest enemies too.
He was, but I think the hot-headedness of Tony is what is, air quotes, worse than Carlito's loyalty. You know what I mean? And because there could be a situation where Carlito, when he got his money, he would have been done. Tony would have never stopped.
Right.
In my opinion. So I think he would be he's in the stickier situation.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good explanation. I like that. Okay.
Yeah.
Kill, how about you?
Both situations to me are sticky. And I agree with Eric. Tony, he is the root of most of his issues, his hubris, and also his moral code of not killing, the innocents, which that is a good thing. But when I look at Carlito, yeah, he has a code of the streets, but for the most part, he's surrounded by people that keep pulling him into BS, namely Sean Penn. I'm gonna go with Carlito, mainly because yes, he does have his code, which that causes him to have enemies like Benny Blanco from the Bronx. But Sean Penn is like a best friend, but also like one of his worst enemies because what he pulls him in, what he gets him involved in, and also just the sheer fact that he has such loyalty to his friends, especially friends that he considers family. So I'm going with Carlito.
All right. How about you, Coriander?
See, I thought you were talking like the end. So
Nope.
you completely made this a sucky question.
Well, let me say one thing, and people that have watched this series, which we are like, I think almost 25 episodes in, we'll always talk about the finale, but usually that'll be one of the last categories. So
yeah.
So we'll get there.
They both pretty much did themselves in, with Carlito not taking Benny as seriously as he should. And I mean, this is like you toss a fucking coin, man. I'm gonna go, I guess, Scarface.
Okay. All right. Real quick too in the chat, Russell, that's a good one. Mayan saying you're on a roll, Sir James, and right. Mayan also putting the link in for our playlist for Slasher Movie Club. Thank you so much. We appreciate that because we've had a lot of great movies, including some other De Palma films, Dressed to Kill, Sisters, and so forth. So it's been some good stuff.
And we will be back next Monday. So just saying.
We will. Thank you. Yes, absolutely. We will be back. Okay. So for me, the sticker situation, this is tough, man, because I think that they both had a lot of stuff going on, but I gotta go with Carlito on this one. And Kill, you made one of the points that was big in my mind is that Carlito has so much faith, in David, right? And part of it too is you understand it because he got him out of a 30-year sentence, man. He got him out in
Mhm.
5. You know, when you're in that type of situation, you know, you know what I'm saying? And they had a relationship obviously before he went in. You know, like David said, you were the one that got me my first big clients. So you basically have trust in someone that you shouldn't. And as the movie goes on, you start to understand that. But Carlito, as smart as he is, he's 2 steps behind that, right? You know, and even Gail, like I said, Gail even told him, don't go, whatever he's asking you to do, don't do it. And he says, I have to. I owe him. That's who I
Yeah,
am.
all
Right.
right.
And he said,
Can I change my answer? You're making me both. You guys are making me want to change my answer because I was so flip floppy. You know that.
what is going on
Scarface.
here?
Scarface
Okay.
has plenty of extra points, so I should have
No,
gone
hold on.
Carlito's
All
way.
right, hold on.
But
That's
no,
not how
now that
don't
you,
ever
but no,
no.
that's not why I'm saying that. But I'm hearing you and hearing Killian. I regret my answer. I'm regretting
Okay.
it. So that tells me I didn't answer it correctly.
Okay.
So I need to
All right.
change it. Thank
Okay,
you.
we'll put you for Carlito. So
Thank you.
I forgot what I was saying, but
I'm
you know,
sorry, babe.
I just
I'm
that's
sorry.
okay. But you know, I just think that with Carlito, I think that there's a couple different things going on there. I guess what I'm saying is that Tony went into this world on his own to reach the top, you know, to get the world, you know, everything in it, right? So he knows. He even said it when he was talking to Manny when they were doing the you know, the camera detail and all that. He says, well, maybe it's the Diaz brothers come to get me finally. You know, he knows what he's up against. Carlito, he knows the streets, but he doesn't see David coming. You get
Mhm.
what I'm saying? And he's got that code, you know, and he doesn't, even with Pachanga, you know, he doesn't see that Pachanga is ready to just, but it's weird because in that scene when he was talking to Ron, he was like, because Ron was like, you know, Pachanga's upset because he's not getting any money and he thinks that you're an asshole and this and that. And Carlito's just kind of blowing it off. And then he says, you know, this guy, Ron said this guy would kill his mother for $1. And then Carlito said, who wouldn't? You know what I mean? So it's like
Mhm.
Carlito knew, but he didn't like take his own advice. You know what I'm saying? So he didn't see the possibilities of David or Pachanga totally betraying him, and that was a big downfall. So I think that's a sticker situation because he was kind of blinded. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I think I made sense of all that. I was trying to make sure I got it all out there. I think
I
that's
got it.
how I wanted to do it. So I'm going with Carlito on that one. Okay. Troy's in the chat. What's going on? He's going with Carlito. I have zero sympathy for the situation. Tony's in. He's there for I don't know what that is, for reasons he was egotistical. Okay, no other reason than that. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, definitely. I understand what you mean. Next category, Eric. Let's go to our next one. Your favorite quote from either movie. What's your favorite quote?
Hmm. Uh, I mean, this was my first time, like I said, watching them, either the first time ever or in a long time. This might be a cheap answer. I'm gonna go with "Say Hello to My Little Friend" because it's the one that's I've known for decades, even without watching them. So it's it's a cheap answer, but because I can't think of anything because I've only seen them the one time, that's what I'm going with.
Okay, all right. How about you, Kill?
This is light work for me here. It's Carlito's Way. Okay, I'm reloaded. you think you think you big time? You gonna die big time. Here come the pain, and then goes through the door.
Yeah, it's a great scene.
I don't even think he has bullets, but he's
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, he's out of bullets, but he has to fake it because he's not sure he killed everyone.
Right. But that was such a smart thing, though, because the thing about that scene was it was all about his mind. right? You know, he was going to fake them out. He used his smarts in that whole scene, like Coriander said earlier, setting up the pool situation so they could use the guy's glasses. And now he's in the bathroom, stuck, nowhere to run. He has no bullets. So how does he get out of this impossible situation? As far as what he thought, he couldn't see outside of the bathroom, and that was a great way to show his intelligence and his smarts. Whereas, you know, with Tony, it was more about, you know, his firepower and his, I guess I could say bravado, maybe, you know what I'm saying? So it's just, again, two different characters. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Coriander, how about you?
Man, I'm not good with quotes. You should know this.
That's okay.
I'm like Eric. All I know is, you know, say hello to my little friend. That's all I know.
All right, that's fine. I mean, I think, and the thing about this, and whenever we've done favorite line or favorite quote or favorite scene, you know, I think the point, if you know these movies really well, then obviously it could be an interesting exercise, but it also speaks to something that stands out the most. So the fact that that's the one that stands out the most shows that, yeah, the point, you should give the point to Scarface because you remember it the most. So real quick too, we got Paula's in the chat. What's going on, Paula? Saying sorry I'm late. Hey, no problem, glad to have you here. All right. And she says, I never saw Scarface, but that line's iconic. Exactly. That's a very good point. And by the way, if you guys haven't hit the like button, please do. It helps to support the channel and also this stream, which we definitely could use help on this stream. This is a different type of stream. We wanted to do some different type of stuff. And we know that our audience, you know, sometimes, unfortunately, may not be as open to that. You know, they might be wanting to talk about some other stuff, but that's okay because we think that these two movies, they're just really, really fun to talk about. Okay. So James coming in, another $5 super chat. Pelican fly. Okay. Give her a Quaalude. Love me in the morning. That was a good scene too, man. He had a lot of great quotes. He really, really did. And so long, Counselor Russell. That's a good one too. Thank you so much, Sir James. Manny, what's a pelican fly? Come on, pelican. For me, that already tells you probably what I'm going to say. One of my favorite quotes. Well, you know, it's kind of a cheat because, especially Kill, you and I, you know, a lot of times we like, what's up, man? You know, look, you know what it's coming from. You know, it's coming from Scarface. You know, so many cool quotes. You know, hello, pussycat. You know, but also, who do I trust? Who put this thing together? Huh? Me. That's who. Who do I trust? Me. You know, so I gotta go. Go with Scarface on this one.
Yeah, every time you would say the quote with the movie, right? My Mina, she'd be looking at me, giving me this look, like seriously. She's like, "Is he gonna do this throughout the whole movie?" I'm like, "Yep."
It's so many good quotes, man. It's not even funny, man.
At least he wasn't quoting Freddy in the chalkboard, right?
There you go.
Oh man.
There you go. Yes. Troy saying, talking about the last of the Mohicans speech at the end of Carlito's the best. That is a good one. It really, really is good. Like there's a lot of but he said last of the Mohicans. Puerto Rican.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Because that was their nickname. That was really good. I mean, there was a lot of cool style in Carlito's Way that was so good. The voiceover alone made it feel kind of like noir-like.
Yes.
Right. And again, Brian De Palma, you know, the choices that were made. Seriously. There's no doubt about it. Some great stuff. Okay, let's go to our next category. Favorite scene, Eric. Your absolute favorite scene between these two movies.
Okay, I'm going Carlito's Way, and here's a little bit of an explanation. I told you guys offline, this was the first time I'd seen Carlito's Way. I thought I was going to stay with the chainsaw scene in Scarface because there's a lot that it'll take to top that scene for me until we get to the scene in Carlito's Way where the assassin shows up to take out Sean Penn, and he's got no bullets, and you just see Carlito dump him in the trash can.
So long, counselor.
That's it. That is my favorite scene, Carlito's Way.
All right. Okay. Kill, how about you?
This is again easy street for me. It's the pool hall scene. It's the scene literally that the poster is made from here. He's going with his cousin. His cousin is naive. He's like, "Oh, these are friends of yours. You know these guys. Yeah. It's cool, man. I just want you to walk in with me, bro." He's like, "Okay, whatever." He goes in. He knows it's fishy. He knows something's up. He knows the streets. He knows the signs. He's taking in everything from every corner, every exit. Hey, can I use your bathroom? Oh, no. The bathroom is out of order. He's like, "Oh, it's out of order. Okay. Maybe I'll come back next week." Yeah. And he sees everything before it even happens. He uses the guy's shades to see like a knife coming at his back. And he just plays it so cool, so calm. Even when he doesn't have bullets, he still has the bravado to scare them if they are alive. Great scene, great image. Easy street, Carlito's Way.
Okay. All right. Coriander, how about you?
Jeez. Do you have your favorite scene?
I do. I do.
Okay,
All right,
you
I'll go first.
Thank you.
So to me, my favorite scene, or the scene that just sticks out for me so much, is at the end of Scarface. And here he is, pretty much as low as it gets, right? And he knows it, right? He's sitting there. The mountain of cocaine is right there. His best friend is dead because of his anger. It's almost like he just lost the control in that moment, which we had seen the shades of that leading up to that. And then with Gina, I mean, it was just so tragic. And when all of that was done, and he sees Gina dead, and he's trying to talk to her, you messed up your makeup, and and he sees like 1,000 people coming into the mansion and heading up those steps, and he's like, "Okay, you wait for me, don't move. Like he's coked out of his mind, but he's going to another level at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like he knows, hey, it's time. And then of course, with Say Hello to My Little Friend, and he just goes off. I mean, he just goes off. It's a kamikaze situation. It's a suicide mission, and it just, when he falls into the pool, and the way De Palma frames it, you see that statue where it says "The world is yours," and it's the total tragic ending of this story, the rise to the top. And he didn't just have a fall, he plummeted off of the mountain. You know what I mean? It's all in that finale. So that's definitely my favorite scene. Great scenes in Carlito as well, though, man. There's no doubt about that. This isn't an easy choice, but I gotta go with Scarface on this one. Okay, Coriander, how about you?
Okay, so one scene that it was a tense scene, and it's a scene that, you get into, for me, is when Carlito is running through the train station trying to get away from the 3 goons and get to his woman. And yeah, there you go.
Okay. All right. That's your favorite scene. Okay. All right. Let's see real quick. Man, saying this is tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is really, really tough. It is. No doubt. Next up, who do I trust? Who do I trust? Okay, so Eric,
That's the easy question.
Is it though? Well,
it is.
Well, I didn't even explain it yet though. But listen, Eric, in the 2 movies, which of the characters had the most trust obstacles? You know what I'm saying? As far as in the world that they lived in, the things that they were going through. You know what I'm saying? Which character do you think
you make an easy question and then flip it and make it what the fuck?
No, I like that.
Come on, man.
Who had the biggest trust issues?
Well, that's easy now.
Well, I'm gonna say Carlito, because that ending scene with Luis Guzman, I I did not see that coming. You know what I mean? And that pissed me off. Like, I yelled at my TV. That pissed me off.
Right.
Sean Penn, Carlito should have known better. You know what I mean? But he still trusted him because he was his boy, and he did a good job. Tony, with his trust issues, a lot of the problem is he causes that himself. You know what I mean? So, you can't trust anybody, Carlito, because you cause a lot of, or Tony, because you cause a lot of that yourself. But Carlito, it's just, his boy, go pick up my girl, and take her to the train station, and right then and there, that's, you can't trust your best friend. Yeah.
All right.
Carlito.
Okay. Kill, how about you?
This is tough. Luis Guzman, his character was like a best friend, but he also was about his money.
Right.
And he was even told, like, hey, watch out for this guy.
Yeah.
This might be a controversial thing, but Manny is a piece of crap. Because Manny got with Tony's sister. And you just don't do that to your boy. You don't do that. I don't care if she loved him or not. Manny was a pimp through the whole movie, and he was like, hitting on every blonde in Miami. True. And Tony saw this. And that's your best friend. You were in the army together. You were in jail together. You crossed from Cuba together. You are like blood. And the one woman he tells you, don't mess with. Do not mess with my sister.
She not for you, man.
She not for you, man. And he did it. And he got what was coming to him. So I'm gonna say Tony has the biggest trust issue.
You guys have seen this more than me. I just got a quick question. Do you think Tony would have regretted what he did to Manny? When he found out that they were married, like he wouldn't have cared so much. You don't think so?
You mean you told him they were married, and he still shot him anyway?
I thought he shot Manny first, and then she said they were married.
He did. So you're saying what if he knew?
Yeah, if he had known that they were married, do you think Tony still would have taken him out?
I don't think he would have. Okay, well, let me answer it, and then you guys answer. I don't think he would have taken him out like that. I think it depends on how it was done. Like if Gina went to him and said, "Hey, I know that this guy is like your brother, but I love him, and I want to let you know about it." Blah 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 blah. Now Tony might have still been upset about it or whatever, but I don't think he would have been like, "Okay, I'm going to go and kill Manny." You know what I'm saying? I think if nothing else, there would have at least been some thought about what the next step is. But because he didn't know, he had no clue. But the other thing too, you got to remember, he's dealing with all this other stuff too, man. Like there's so much going on with Elvira, with Sosa, with the botched hit. So I think it was just horrible timing for him to see his sister come down those steps in a bathrobe and so forth and so forth. So, and what do you think, Coriander?
I mean, he pretty much told them, stay away from her. And now they're married. I think he would have shot him anyway.
Okay.
So if Gina came to Tony and explained it and said, "Hey, we're going to get married, or we love each other,"
But that's
blah, blah,
not what happened in the movie. So
no, I know that, but what Eric is asking is if he knew it beforehand, would he have still killed Manny?
I think so, because Manny's a cheese dog, and his sister deserves better.
Well, I agree with you. Like the timing, is just really, really crappy timing. And Manny was literally up until that point the only person he trusted.
Right.
Literally.
Right.
I don't think he would have killed him if they had came to him in the proper fashion, but I do think he might have still shot him to hurt him or something, and would have cut him out of the business totally. Like, hey, you're dead to me. You did the one thing I told you not to do, but I don't think he would have killed him. But then again, cocaine is a hell of a drug,
right?
So I don't know. Man.
It's true. All right, real quick. Coriander, what about you for who the whole situation of trust? Who are you going to go with in this situation?
Tony.
Okay. All right. For me, I this is tough, man. This is really, really tough. But I do think with Tony, Kill, you made a really good point. I didn't really think of it specifically this way, but you made a good point about Manny because, like I said, I think that they should have just been upfront with him. You know what I'm saying? They should have been upfront with him one way or the other, whether it was from Manny or from Gina. And Manny did try at first, you know, when they were in the car and she said, well, why don't you date me? And he's like, he's my brother, so he did try. But feelings are feelings. The heart wants what it wants. But I do think that was a huge betrayal in the way that things were portrayed in the movie, Tony being who Tony was.
Mhm.
And even Manny said, you're the last thing that is pure. He's got that father thing for you, and he doesn't want you to go down this path like he did. You know what I'm saying? So I have to kind of go with Tony on this one for Scarface. Okay. All right. Real quick, too. We got Carrie's in the chat, and she has a channel member anniversary. 17 months,
Wow.
bro. Wow.
Nice.
That is awesome stuff, Carrie. Seriously.
Very cool.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Just for all the support, all the love. We really, really appreciate you. Know that. She said, say hello to my not so little milestone. That's good. I like that. I like that. Carrie, thank you so much. You're all right. Oh man. MMA's in the chat saying Carlito's Way is an underrated masterpiece. It is a very good movie. It is.
Yep.
I don't know if I'd say. Well, actually, we got a couple more categories, so maybe we'll come back to that. But interesting point. Interesting point. MMA also saying Sean Penn was too damn good in that role. He was. He really, really was. Yeah,
He
no
was
doubt.
slimy.
And by the way, also again, if you haven't hit the like button, please do. It really helps out. And May saying on another note, is everyone ready for sleep? Yes. Absolutely. Let's see. All right, I think I'm caught up in the chat. Next category, Eric. Elvira versus Gail. Okay, who are you going with? Michelle Pfeiffer or Penelope Ann Miller?
I'm gonna go with Gail, and the reason why I think there was more to her. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I love the relationship between her and Carlito. You know what I mean? It was a lost love, rekindled. It's a tragic love story. Not saying Elvira isn't, but I think there's more tragedy, more so because how it ended. Tony and Elvira, it was always standoffish. You know what I mean? In my opinion, and she kind of hated him from the beginning. She kind of hated him when they were married. And then she just, because of his own actions, she ends up leaving him. Penelope and Miller, she stuck with him with Carlito through thick and thin. So I think there's a better relationship, and there's more to her character. I liked her a lot more.
Okay, all right. Kill, how about you?
Elvira was just out for the bag. She was out for the bag, man. She went from one boss dude to another boss dude. Gail was ride or die. Gail was with Carlito not because of the money or the status, but because she truly fell in love with Charlie. She loved Charlie. She loved him.
I loved how she called him Charlie too.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
And he loved her too. And there was a purity with her that he, didn't see in other females, in his world. Like the scene where he sees her in his club and there's a waitress there, or a barmaid.
Steffi.
Yeah. Beautiful woman talking to him. He's looking 100% through her and past her as she's flirting with him and hitting on him. Valera, just nothing for me there. Carlito's Way.
Okay, Coriander, how about you?
Yeah, Gail all the way. They both said it about Elvira. She was just, in it for the two. And yeah, she was pretty much waking up and like, okay, you're my bitch now, and let's go and let's get married, so please, that's an easy question.
All right. Well, for me, I don't see it as easy.
It's easy.
I think let me finish. I think both actresses did a really good job for what the character was, and both actresses had standout scenes. I think that Gail had a great standout scene in the apartment when she was telling Carlito, "Don't do it. You don't owe him," and so forth. And I think Michelle Pfeiffer very underrated in this role at the dinner scene when she said, "We've turned into losers. That's what we are." and so forth. That was a great scene, you know, and it really solidified her character, because that was kind of like her break for freedom, and totally was a ripple effect throughout the whole movie. That being said, I'm gonna go with Gail. I'm gonna go with Penelope Ann Miller, and the reason I'm gonna go with her is because throughout the film, you know, she had some different types of moments with him, as far as when they first reconnected and trying to forgive him for him breaking her heart, for trying to figure out, okay, what's next, to kind of reintegrate back into each other's lives, and then to kind of rekindle their love, and then seemingly the regret of it, because she knew that Sean Penn's character was a piece of shit, and she knew where this was going to end, and she chose to run away with Carlito. You know, even at the train station when they were waiting, she's like, Charlie, come on, please don't miss this train. You know, where are you? You know, because she knows the possibilities. So I just think that she had all these different moments that was much more of a roller coaster up and down, that she was able to explore. So I'm going to go with Gail on this one. Okay. Real quick. Troy also going with Gail. And also Troy has a channel member anniversary, 3 months.
Nice.
3
Nice.
months. Very, very cool. Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Troy. We appreciate the support. It really helps us to continue to do streams such as this one. Saying, may I recommend Dead Presidents versus Set It Off, if we don't have to stick to horror. We don't have to stick to horror. I mean, we've done sci-fi. We have also done action, like when we did RoboCop versus the Terminator. But saying, I think that could be a good one. It could be. We'll put that down. Also, leave that in the comment section, Troy, because we have a list that is at least a page long. So leave that in the comment section as well. Okay. Very, very cool. Let's get ready to go to our next category as we start to wind down the 10-minute warning, so to speak. Eric, you think you big time? All right. So for this category, which of these films do you think? I mean, Al Pacino's had a lot of great movies over his career. I mean, he's fantastic. He's one of my favorite actors easily. Okay.
Yes.
But which one of these films do you think was the film that really kind of just gave him that oomph? You know, I'm not saying what's his most popular, but I'm just saying, which of these films, you know, in a filmography as great as his, do you think was kind of like that crown jewel?
It's got to be Scarface. It's got to be Scarface, and not necessarily, you know, because it's, you know, not what's most popular, but again, when you think of Pacino, 90% of people are probably going to think Scarface, and the thing is, a lot of those people who are going to say that might not have even seen the film, because that's what made, I think, him, at least in my generation, a name. So I that's like the easiest way I can put it. You know, not a lot of people will think Carlito, in my opinion. So I gotta say the one that gave him that oomph, like you said, has got to be Tony Montana.
Okay, all right, Kill. How about you?
This is easy street again. It's got to be Scarface. It's essentially, Scarface is a piece of crap. He's not a good guy, but it's that rags to riches story that rappers have idolized, that sports athletes have idolized, you know, just the American dream of pulling yourself up from your bootstraps. And everyone can identify it, even though he's a bad guy and he does a lot of bad things. But this is the role that really shot Pacino into another hemisphere. He's playing a bad guy who's coked out. It's an action flick. He's not a good guy, and it's a remake of a classic film. And he's with Brian De Palma. Yeah, it's got to be Scarface.
Okay, all right, Coriander. How about you?
Yeah, I have to go with these guys in Scarface. So, yeah.
Okay, all right. For me, you know, I definitely think both of these films had interesting things, because, you know, when Carlito's Way came out in 93, the thing about Carlito's Way, and I remember at the time, it really kind of it hit a certain chord because of the differences it had to his other films, whether you're talking about, obviously the Godfather movies or Scarface, because with Carlito's Way, it had, like Coriander's been saying, it had this love story, this tragic love story, and you had this one-time bad guy that truly, like he said, I've been reformed. And it didn't take 30 years like Your Honor thought. You know what I'm saying? Like, he truly was a reformed man. But he just couldn't break out of that spider web. So I think it was just a really, and especially being in 1993, that was a certain time in his career where it was kind of like, yeah, he still got it. That being said, I have to agree with you guys with Scarface because of the fact that not only was it such a powerful movie, but it truly, it had such a style to it. It truly just had this impact. That's not even, and we're not even talking about, again, I'm not talking about the popularity, and all the, the athletes and the hip hop artists that gravitated towards this. I'm just talking about what it was at the time. You got to remember, this was 1983, and just the style that it brought, to that gangster subgenre was just out of this world. Even watching it to this day, it's just kind of like, wow, these guys, just everything, like you said, Miami was a character as well. Like it almost was a living, breathing thing. You almost felt like you were in Miami watching this movie.
You felt hot watching this movie.
Yes. So the movie just permeated. It totally captured your first time I saw this movie, I was just enthralled by it, totally as a kid. Kill, you remember, our parents, they watch these movies and, we're trying to sneak in or whatever. And, but I remember the first time I saw this, it just was hitting me. So I got to go with Scarface on this one. All right, real quick. Jason's in the chat. What's up, bro? From Backtrack Cinema. What's going on? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well, man. Troy saying Tony Montana is definitely the winner here. Carlito's too overlooked, but his best character is definitely Michael Corleone. All right. And I think I'm caught up in the chat. Next category, Eric, we're almost to the end. The most tense scene out of either of these two films.
Most tense scene is not necessarily favorite scene.
Right.
I'm gonna go with the finale for Scarface because that's hard to top. This is one man because his boys get taken out very early in the firefight. One man versus the world. And the most tense part of that movie is when you have the one guy behind him, just slowly methodical, like the Terminator, getting ready to pull the trigger, and then it's just boom. So okay. I got to go with Scarface at the very end.
Okay, Kill. How about you?
This is tough for me because for me, both of these movies, the endings are tense in different ways. Oh man, I'm gonna have to, go with Scarface because I can just remember the first time watching Scarface, I was, on the edge of my seat, and then I was just like, oh man, he's gonna make it. He's gonna take out all these guys, somehow.
That's a good point.
Just with sheer cocaine and weaponry, he might actually pull it off. I mean, because seriously, think about it. If you look at that scene. He's on top of it, say hello to my little friend, grenade launcher.
He's so high, he's not feeling the bullets because he's standing up, with his arms up, getting shot, and he's just walking it off. You know what I mean?
I'm still standing.
Exactly.
And he knows his house, he knows his ground, he knows where his weapons are. But then, of course, you see what's looming behind him and what's about to happen, and it's like, oh man, you almost did it. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Scarface on this one.
All right. How about you, Coriander?
For me, I'm gonna pick the scene when he's, in Carlito's Way when he's going through the train station. I mean, he's literally laying down on an escalator.
That's good.
Trying to get away from these friggin' three. No, what is it? Four of them or 3?
Yeah, 4.
It doesn't matter. So yeah, like, and for me, for the end of Scarface, I mean, is it? I mean, it didn't like hit me as tense. You know what I mean? It's like you knew this was gonna come, and when you saw all those goons on the camera, you knew there was no shot that you knew it was over for him. So
Really? You didn't think he had any chance at all, even after he blew
how
up?
about?
He killed like 25 of them.
Yeah, but that's only the first 25 that you saw. You didn't. No, you
No.
did no. I'm sorry, but
All right.
yeah.
For me, I think this is a challenging question. I think and I do think that for Scarface, I think you said, Eric, I really did think there was a chance. A big chance he was going to live? Of course not. But look, the way he was shooting them down, at one point he was mowing them down like in a video game with that automatic gun. You know what I'm saying?
I'll say this. He might not. He might have been dead regardless. But I initially thought he was going to take down every one of them with him until I saw the guy behind him.
Right. And to be quite honest, that was really the thing. I think But anyways, so I do think there was some tension in that scene. But I got to go with Carlito on this, and it's the ending scene, like Coriander said. That whole train station sequence. I'm thinking, okay, how does he get out of this? Can he get out of this? He's playing hide and go seek with the goons. He's on the escalator, which was a great scene. The way it was shot, again, camera work was impeccable. And you're thinking, wow, he's gonna get away. And then you got your big boy up at the top. There he is. And then he's shooting at him, and I'm like, oh crap, is he gonna be able to get out of it? He does. And for me, why it's the most tense scene, because I'm constantly thinking about Gale. And I'm constantly thinking, dude, all he's got to do is get to this goddamn train. I wanted him to get to that train. I wanted him. And the way the movie played out, you were so focused on is it Sonny, the other son, because he got shot, but he was still coming after Carlito. So it was really smart of Brian De Palma, because you were so fixated on Tony T's other son, who was shot but still coming after Carlito, that you did. First time watch, by the way, of course, now you know it, you see it. First time watch, I didn't even pay attention to Benny Blanco running ahead of Gale and Carlito. And
I didn't notice
so
it.
when Benny shot him and was right there, hey, remember me? I'm Benny Blanco from the Bronx. I was like, oh, So
Yeah, but
it
he
was
was
a great,
completely dressed different too, and in like an overcoat and a hat.
right? Yeah,
So
yeah.
he was like in a disguise, if you ask me.
Oh, he was definitely. But I'm
Yeah.
just saying, the way it was shot, I wasn't even thinking about him, because I was so fixated on Tony T's other son, who was shot and still coming after Carlito. So the way it was shot, in other words, he was making you look one way, and then he hit you the other way. So it was a fantastic thing.
That was a
with
shocker.
Brian, with Brian De Palma. Troy said agreed with Coriander 100%. Since this is technically a remake, we knew it was about a meteoric rise with an equally meteoric fall. Absolutely. Russell saying Carlito's the JP Morgan of the smack business. That's right. That is right. Okay. Next up. That being said, the finale. Which one is the better finale? And Eric will run through this real quick.
Okay, now see, there's a big difference. I think Carlito's way is the better finale. It's not as intense, based on the categories, because the way it's shot, that one scene where De Palma's camera's going down the escalator and the guys are looking for him. I love when Carlito is hiding on the escalator. The big dude shoots through the glass and it does nothing, and then he gets taken out. And then, like I said, I was so pissed off when Luis Guzman did what he did.
Yeah,
more so because he was also involved in beating up John Leguizamo early on in the movie. So that's a good fake out too, that he ends up joining the guy that he beat the shit out of earlier.
Right.
So,
exactly.
And then I'm a sucker for the ending of it, for our tragic love story. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
So going with Carlito.
All right. Kill, how about you?
This is tough, but I'm gonna go with Carlito. Because unlike Scarface, where it's running and gunning and exploding and grenades and murder, it's a little bit more subtle. It's what you don't see that gets you. It's that friend who has been there saying he has your back that gets you. And then, since we did kind of see this alluded to at the beginning of the movie, it's a symmetry that just comes full circle. You
Mhm.
know, the love he had and lost, tried to rekindle, and was this close to getting it again.
Mhm.
And you know, the music mixed with just the sadness of, like, you know, just laying on the cold subway floor, knowing that your friend, you know, betrayed you, and the woman you love, it's just not meant to be. So
Mhm.
yeah, I gotta go
Mm.
Carlito's Way
With child. With
Mhm.
child.
with Child.
Okay. Coriander, how about you?
And yeah, not only that, but that damn sign where, you know, she's like dancing and
Yeah.
he's
Mhm.
like talking about, you know, how he's like, it's getting cold now, and you know, so
Mhm.
you know he's gonna die soon. And yeah, I mean, it's like sad, you know, it's
Mhm.
and yeah, you feel so bad. But one good thing is he impregnated the lady he loved. So, you know, she's most likely going to keep the kid. And so he's got a little legacy there. So that's one good thing that came out of
Yeah.
it. But yeah,
Yeah.
I have to go
Yeah.
Carlito's Way.
Okay. Yeah, like he said, new improved Carlito Brigante. You know, and I totally agree. It's got to be Carlito because of the emotion that you get. I mean, every time I watch this movie, even when we just watched it the other night, it hits you. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? And the reason it does that for me, and I'm sure for a lot of folks that are fans of it, is because of how good of a movie it is. The characters, the acting, and how everything culminated in that finale. It was so tragic. It's so freaking tragic because he was actually reformed, you know, but he just couldn't get away from the spider web of the street. So I'm going with Carlito. All right. Next up, and we got the 2-minute warning, guys. We'll do this real quick. Who you going with, Eric? Tony Montana or Carlito Brigante, the JP Morgan of the smack business?
Easy. JP Morgan. I'm going I'm going with Carlito. Tony's too much of a fucking hothead, dude. You know what I mean? I like how cool and smooth Carlito is. You know what I mean? They're kind of the same
Okay.
character, but I like how Carlito will tell you off and just continue to eat. You know what I mean? He didn't even barely,
Mhm.
put in any effort to tell, what was it, Benny from the block, to just, piss off. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
he is a good dude. That's what I liked about him. He was reformed. He was a good dude.
All right. Kill, how about you?
Man, I swear it's like they're literally the same character, just one is a younger version, and the other one is a little older and wiser and out of prison. I'm gonna go Carlito because overall he is a good guy. It's just
Mhm.
the streets force him to have to do certain things or to impose his will on would-be gangsters that, you know, they move a key and they think that they're the man, you know.
Okay.
So
All
yeah,
right.
I'm going with Carlito.
Okay. Grander, how about you?
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna go with Carlito. Definitely.
Okay. All right. I'm going with Tony Montana. All right. And I'm gonna tell you why. And it's not and for me, the way I'm choosing it, obviously Carlito is the good guy. You know, he's the better human being. But that's not why I'm choosing it. I'm choosing it based upon how the character impacts, you know, me as far as a film fan. And I just got to go with Tony Montana. You know, just that rise and fall, trying to come out of the gutter, getting to the top, and realizing that getting to the top, it's not all it's cracked up to be. You know, and just that tragic plummet. And it's hard and heavy, man. So I got to go with Tony Montana on this one. Okay, last category, guys, real quick. We got to choose which film we prefer. Eric, what do we got?
Oh shit.
Man.
I'm gonna say Scarface, first one that came to mind.
Okay.
Probably maybe because I'm more attached to it because I've seen it more. It might change tomorrow or my next viewing of Carlito's Way, but I'm gonna go with Scarface.
Kill, how about you?
Can I say both?
No.
No. There's no lying here. I love them both. Carlito's Way edges it out barely. Just for some of the reasons we already spoke on, and just you know, Carlito is a more likable character for me, but he still can get into that gangster shit.
All right.
Yes.
Coriander, how about you?
Yeah, I mean, if I never knew that Carlito existed, obviously I'd pick Tony. But I mean, Carlito is just, I mean, come on. He's a great character. And like Killian said, he can turn it on when he needs to. And,
But are you you're choosing it because it's a better movie? Carlito's Way?
isn't that what you're making us choose, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I've seen like Scarface. I love Scarface. I'm a fan, and I've seen it a gazillion times.
Okay.
But Carlito Way it's new, fairly new. Like I said, I've seen it a few times. So yeah, I'm gonna.
Okay.
It's a great movie. So yeah,
Let
man.
me just say something. When we went into this battle, you were totally flipped because you made it seem as though this was not going to be. That's why I was asking, because I was just so surprised. But I guess it shows how much you really enjoy Carlito's Way, because it was only the second time you had seen it, and now because you were saying Scarface was going to win this thing easily,
Well, I thought so, but you always.
I'm just saying it's interesting to see that, which was cool.
Right. Yeah.
For me, I'm going with Scarface. You knew I was going to do that. And it's tough though, because I love Carlito's Way, but with Scarface, the thing that I really enjoy about Scarface so much is that it has this style to it. Both movies have style, but I mean, like the Scarface style is just so.
It's like Arnold. I said the quotes. It's like anything with Arnold. You'd
the
yes.
Quotes are good, but no, it's not even the quotes though. I'm talking about just the style of it in Miami and the feeling that you have. Like you feel like you're actually in Miami, the way that it's shot, and these characters, so many of them are just so they're despicable.
And your impersonations. That's what I was going with. Your impersonations.
Yeah, but I can impersonate some Carlito too. But I'll just pick it Scarface, so that's what I'm gonna go with. So look, let's do this real quick, guys. We're pressed for time. I'll have you guys just a recap while I count up the points. Eric, I'll have you start.
I'm glad we did this one. I love how Kill said Scarface is kind of like a younger Carlito, because it does work. Like this is a great double feature. Two great performances by the same actor, two different performances by the same actor. And again, both movies prove that De Palma is one of those guys you just can't touch behind the camera. You know what I mean? Just look at his filmography, and these are, in my opinion, two of his best films. And I'm glad we picked this one, because honestly, I never would know when I'd be in the mood to just put on Carlito's Way. And now I'm glad we did, because I saw a great film.
Yeah, both of these films are great. And guys, I know pretty much everyone in this room has at least seen one of these. You've probably seen them both. But if you have not watched them in years, definitely check them out. When I watch both of these movies, there's a small category of movies that I love to watch, but that I know if I don't want to get sad, I turn them off at a certain point. I can add like Training Day is one of those movies. Scarface is one of these movies, and Carlito's Way is one of these movies. And if you guys know what I'm talking about, you get it. But great movies, and just shows how good Al Pacino is. He, no matter what the movie is, he always shines. So,
Absolutely.
All right,
Coriander, any final thoughts?
Shoot it up, man.
Okay, so we've got a score. This was pretty close, which was not surprising to me. We've got a score of 32 to 36.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay. So that's pretty interesting. But we've got the final score, including our live chat votes, of 36 to 57, and that means that the winner, the world is his, Chico.
I love it.
That's right.
The world is his, and everything in it. Okay, so anyways, I wanted to do some more quotes. But anyways, for you guys in the chat, that's what we have. Scarface wins this one. It was pretty close, but a very, very cool battle. I enjoyed this. Kill. This has been a lot of fun going through all this, and we've talked about this for so long. But if you guys in the chat, let us know what you think in the comment section down below. You guys had a lot of great quotes, a lot of great thoughts about this film, and of course, the differences and the similarities between the two. So definitely let us know in the comment section more. If you haven't hit the like button, please do. We'd appreciate it. And we will catch you guys next week for our next battle. And that should be an interesting one too on Tuesday night. So anyways, if you're watching this, if you're listening to this, you are the Night Watch. Peace.
Cheers.
Upchurch.
Rise.